More on Facebook, YouTube, and now Twitter. My new Twitter handle is at Jeff33. It's not really new, but it's new to this audience. Anyway, um, in my series of clarifying, see, I have a new shirt on. I'll talk about that in other videos as well. I have to make some edits. Uh, the biggest one I want to start with is clarifying my position on church. I was raised as a Jehovah Witness. That didn't work out very well for me or my family. But God is in it. He is. It's just the power of God is not there from what I've found. But it's a lot of good people there. That much I can say. My journey continued with church. And from there, I was introduced to the Baptist and the Pentecostal and the Methodist and the Presbyterian and the Catholics and on. A lot of good people in church. A lot of good things being done. I was just unfulfilled. What do I think of church today? I was actually born again in the church. I was baptized in the church. I learned a lot in the church. But the most important thing I learned was that I needed to be at the foot of Jesus, be at the foot of God, and learn from the Master. And that's what the new covenant was about. That took a lot of years to learn, but at God's pace. Remember, he doesn't live inside of time. What I think about church today is it's a lot of good people in church. A lot of good things happen in church. A lot of people are healed. A lot of people are set free. I think church should be a place for the gathering of the saints. That's what the Bible calls it. The gathering of the saints. Do not forsake the fellowship of the saints, getting together. But church can be in this house right here. Church can be in your house. Church can be in the coffee room if the saints are gathering together. Church can be on a cruise if the saints are gathering together. But the gathering together, you should not name your church the gathering, and then you walk in and it's not a fellowship of gathering. It's just one person at the top called a pastor, a choir behind him or her, and it's a church collecting money for what? It's a ruse. And they're good people. I understand the concept. But you don't have to create a building to gather people together. Now, what should the church, in my opinion, be used for? The church be used for the testimony of Jesus Christ. I will freely give to any church that only preach that message because that's what Jesus said do. That is in my new covenant law that I know is to give on my mind, to give to those preaching nothing but the gospel of Jesus Christ. Those in the mission fields preaching the gospel of Jesus Christ. Those who are the example of the gospel of Jesus Christ. Or whoever else God tells me to give to. But that's how I see the church. Not to be a new religion, like what grace is being. Like a new religion. Churches are opening up, calling themselves grace. Everything you hear is grace this, grace that. When grace is just a footprint. Yes, it is God. God is the Word. The Word became flesh, the flesh, and walked among us. So grace is a word of God. It is God. I get it. But it is not the law of God. It is not the covenant of God. It's only one of the laws, and that is the forgiveness law. Okay, under the new covenant. Everybody agrees that that is a part of the new covenant of God. I hope this is helping you understand better my position on church. Would I still go to church? Absolutely. I do, but I'm having a hard time with it all because I'm not learning. I'm not growing. I'm not being fulfilled because God is more than just, he wants to be our teacher personally. And when you go to church, it's just one interpretation. That's the pastor's. And all other voices are shut down unless they've been approved by the pastor. And then they say you have to go to school and this, and that. Find any of that in the Bible, and I'll believe it. I've spent hundreds of hours in the Bible. And you're not going to find it. So why believe it? So you have a great design on your life. You are intelligent to God. There's no one he can't teach. There's no one he doesn't want to teach. You are the church of God if you are born again. If you're not, just ask Jesus into your life, introduce you to the new covenant God, and you will become one of God's churches, and he will teach you. He will teach you, but it will be a daily thing and not just on Sunday or Wednesday or however many days needed to collect money. I am against the church collecting money to build bigger buildings and pay bigger salaries. The gospel is not being preached the way Jesus said it should be preached. I've seen too much and I've heard way too much, but I don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. You heard me say that a lot. Therefore, I've given a lot. And the only reason why I can talk to you now is because I've done everything the pastors asked us to do, and I've been blessed by it. But the biggest blessing I received is being introduced to the new covenant God, being set free from it all. There's a Joshua generation coming that will never step foot in the church, will be the greatest generation of God in my lifetime and probably in yours. They're coming, and they won't be in the church. They will be new covenant Christians.